In this video, I am going to show you how to install a SQL Server 2005 on a Windows Server 2003. Okay, now let's go and actually when you insert your CD, you will see that this thing appears here. Actually, as you can see, what you can do is to click the install and server components. Before actually you can review the hardware and software requirement for the installing the SQL Server if you want to. And in this case I will skip this thing because I know this thing actually is okay with my server and my computer, so I can skip with this thing. And then then there is a SQL Server upgrade advisor. Again, if you want to upgrade it, then here it is. It will actually give you the details of whether when you are trying to upgrade from SQL Server 2000 to 2005. This is upgrade advisor. Now I am going to actually directly install the SQL Server components, book online and samples, and I am going to click this option and let's see what happens. As you can see that it will actually start up installation process. Usually SQL Server 2005 comes with 2 disks. This is an enterprise edition. Okay, and this is just a demo for the demo purpose. I am going to show you how to install the SQL Server. Okay, it accept the terms and condition. You can say yes, and then we can move on to the next. And now it's trying to actually install a prerequisite. What it's trying to do, it will actually check out whatever is required before the .NET framework, Microsoft SQL Server native client, and Microsoft Server SQL Server setup supports file. This needs to install before actually installing the SQL Server. So it's actually just running through it, and it will first install all these things, and then it will ask actually start installing the SQL Server, and then it will ask you to actually select lot of components whatever you want depending upon what your requirement is, and then you can actually do the selection of whatever you want. Let's click install, and now it has started the actually installation of .NET Framework 2, and it will go on with the whatever the required files are before installing the SQL Server. Usually if you want to actually look at the hardware requirements and other things, you could always actually have to look into the hardware requirement before installing the SQL Server, depending upon what you do not have to memorize them, because it depends until and unless you are in the process of actually installing on a different type of the SQL Server, different type of servers with a different type of configuration. If you know what your configuration is, you can easily install always the same. What is the difference between a standard edition, the enterprise edition, and other things like that. Then there is the express edition, then there is a developer edition. Developer edition is usually the same as the enterprise edition. The only difference is that you can use the developer edition for only for development purpose, and you cannot use it for the production purpose. While with the enterprise edition you can use it for production purpose. The standard edition lacks some of the features that enterprise edition has. That's the big difference. Otherwise the SQL Server enterprise edition and the standard edition nearly actually will meet the most of the requirements of any organization, depending upon small to large. Then there is the express edition, that is which usually comes free. You can actually install express edition if you want to just be trying to do something, or if you want to distribute it with some application, you can install like express edition, which is actually available on the site for the download on the internet site. You can go to the Microsoft SQL Server, you can go to the site and download the express edition as well. Anyway, let's continue the installing of the SQL Server. It is going to take some time. Here we are. As you can see that we have started installing the SQL Server. Okay, it has installed the components it requires to install the SQL Server, and we are looking forward toward it for it to start the installation of the SQL Server. Here it is. It says SQL Server setup is scanning your computer configuration, system configuration check. What it is usually actually looking is for now is your hard disk space, memory, and your motherboard processing power, that is CPU processing power. These are the things it is looking for, and the other hardware such as the displays and other things. And once it has figured out everything, it will install the SQL Server. Now it says setup will help you to install, modify or remove Microsoft SQL Server. In this case we have never installed the SQL Server, so it is going to be a new installation. We are not going to modify it. This is going to be a new installation, so let's click next. Now it is doing a system configuration check whether it can install these features or not, these things, and etc etc etc. In this case it has said yes. Mostly it is giving me a warning, and for the IIS, that is the Internet Information Server, that's it, nothing else. Let's go and see what's into the message. Maybe I have not installed the IIS, so it must be looking for the, I have seen that there is no Internet Information Server installed. That may be one of the reason or something else. Let's check it out. You not have to worry, there is no error, it's only a warning. Okay, in this case I am going to move to the next. And now it's going to preparing to install. Now it will actually ask me what features do I want to select and what features I don't want to select, etc etc etc. And you can see that it will show up the lot of the options on the screen for you to select from. So it is now recording the install. Start in the window event log. If anything you want to check it out later, what is happening with the install, you can always go to the window event log and check it out. Here is the setting internal properties, detecting installed IIS, that is Internet Information Server, searching, validating addition and system requirement, restoring system product ID. This is all what they is actually checking for now, right now, and setting the properties for setting internal properties, computing space requirement, depending what your hardware, whatever the features you would be actually checking out, and how much space is there on your computer, hard drive, depending upon that thing. And now it's preparing for the installation wizard. Now the installation wizard is typically very easy. The only thing is that you should remember what to select and what not to select, depending upon what your requirements are or whatever you want to look into right now. You may select all the features or you may not select all the features. The name file must be filled with the prior processing. The company field is optional. Okay, let's fill it with the Russell. Okay, and we will move to the next. Okay, Here is the installation features that you can actually check it out. Here it is. As you can see, it is already showing the lot of the options. Actually, this is the SQL Server database server services. Okay, this is analysis service. In this case, I'm going to install everything. Just see it: notification services, integration, SQL Server integration services, workstation component. Okay, now there is an advanced option. Now suppose if I wanted to select the database as well, because if you are not going to actually go to the advanced option, their database is not been selected at, so you may not have the database whenever you have actually installed a SQL Server. If you want to actually have the database in SQL Server 2000, you have to go to the advanced option and select the database. As you can see, everything has been selected here. I can go down and actually look into the details of the SQL Server. As you can see, okay, and here we are looking with the engine component, data files, shared folders, full text search has been actually selected, replication has been selected, data files, shared tools. Let's go a little bit down, and when I go to the documents and simple, as you can see the database, sample database has not been selected. This is where actually you should always remember that thing. Whenever you are installing a SQL Server 2005, it never actually selects. In 2008, there is no actually default database inside the SQL Server itself. Okay, here we are. Okay, then again you have to go here. If you see again, it will not be actually selecting this thing. This is OL, online application processing, OLAP. This is online transaction processing, OLTP, and then there is a sample data warehouse, that is what is online analytical processing. Okay, let's move to the disk cost. Disk cost is actually I have enough. The features require 3768 KB on your hard drive. No problems at all. This feature. Okay, not a problem. Okay, I have a sufficient space, so I can actually look into the. If you want, you can go and look into the disk cost. Okay, depending upon actually I'm installing it on the C drive. You can see the space required is 2435 MB, 2435 MB. Okay, and the difference is 11 GB, that is 11 gigabytes. Close it, and let's move to the next one. As we move to the next one, it will ask for the default instance. If I select the default instance would be actually, I prefer to name the instance actually as, let's say 11, and I like to move it to the next. And as you can see, once I start moving it to the next, I have given a name. If actually by default you should always select the default instance. In my case, I have given it a name. Most probably you would be selecting always the default instance. Okay, here it is. I am going to select. See, it's asking for the user, domain name, etc., etc. I am going to use the inbuilt system, so I can skip all these things. And then there is a SQL Server. Whenever actually you are actually installing, you should have a user domain. If you don't want to use the default system of the Windows, okay, so you better have this thing, added user of the domain user, and depending upon that thing, put a domain name and the password and the user name, and it should do the job for you here. Now I am not see the what is asking here is SQL Server at the end of the setup. SQL Server has to be started. SQL Server agent not started because it has not been checked. Analysis server started. SQL Server browser. That's it, and I'm going to select next. In this case, as you can see, SQL Server agent has not been selected, so SQL Server agent won't be started. With window authentication mode, mixed mode. What is the difference between window authentication mode? Means once you are logged into the window, you can log into the SQL Server with the same. You don't require a password. Mixed mode allows you to actually allow a user to be logged in with the from the SQL Server, and whenever a person logs in with the SQL Server, the SQL Server would ask the user to give a password and a username. I will use the window authentication mode because it actually gives you more security than a mixed mode. Usually people nowadays you only use window authentication mode, but in same case if you want you can always use a mixed mode. You can always change the setting after once you have installed it, no problem at all. Okay, let's move to the next. Okay, here it is. Dictionary case order case inserted for 111252 character set. That is how the actually collision word SQL collision is nothing but actually how your SQL data is getting sorted out. But remember, if you are using the one collision, remember that thing you always use with a similar server the same collision. Otherwise, you may get into a lot of technical problems. Nothing actually, it's Latin journal, no big deal. Only the thing is that you remember that then this is the default collision. You actually whenever you are installing the second instance or whenever you want to actually migrate the database to the other SQL Server 2008, you should remember that you are actually using the same collision, SQL Server collision. Okay, and let's move to the next. I'm going to leave this thing automatically send error, nothing to doing about it. Next, I've installed a SQL Server many times, so I don't have to actually read all of those things. It's just for your sake I'm actually making it. Okay, here is the following component has to be will be installed: SQL Server database server, SQL database service, replication, full text analysis server, notification service, integration service, client components, etc. Whatever business intelligence development studio and SQL Server book online. Let's go to the install. Connectivity components are still there. Removing temporary files, migrating window installer properties to bootstrap. Okay, now it is going to start the installation. As you can see that it's on the process of installing the SQL Server. Now what it says is setup is in progress. SQL Server setup is preparing to make the required config changes. Now, depending upon your system, it is going to actually look into your system and actually it is going to modify some configuration changes, and then you are going to have the SQL Server getting ready to install all the components you have selected. In this case, we have selected everything. You need not select everything. You don't have to select everything depending upon your requirement. You may just select the database service itself only. There is no need to select the SQL Server integration services and other things if you don't want it. But because this is just a demo and just a demo for the SQL Server installation, this is how you actually do it. And this is the first instance getting actually the instance name 11 getting installed. As you can see, it has started installing the SQL Server, and it's going to take some time. These are the actually the details of the components that you have selected, the product. As you can see, it is all going to be getting installed. It is going to take some time, and in the end it will actually, once it has actually installed, it is going to put a green tick icon there. Whenever there is this arrow icon, it says that part is getting installed. If there is something goes wrong, it is going to throw up that error with a different icon. In this case, I hope there is not going to be any error. Okay, this is Windows 2003 server release 2. Okay, on which this SQL Server 2005 Enterprise Edition is getting installed on. Usually, preferably, most of the people, if you want, you would always be installing a SQL Server Express Edition or Development Edition. The Enterprise Edition and the Development Edition is the same. There are no feature differences. The only thing is that the developer edition you cannot use it for the production purpose. That's it. Of course, then there is a data center edition. It may have some, it may lack some of the few features that the enterprise edition has. That's it. There's, if you want to go into looking into the requirements of what features they actually allow you, you should actually go into the looking into the system requirements on the online, or you can look into the hardware requirements and other things into the manual of the SQL Server or other details. If you want, you can go on and search on the Google with the SQL Server requirement, depending upon the standard edition, enterprise edition, or data center edition, whatever you want to look into it, depending upon where you are installing the SQL Server and what are you requiring, what are you installing the SQL Server for. Okay, let's see, something has happened in the behind. Security enabled on your in the future, don't show this. Oh, it's okay, no problem at all. As you can see, the thing is basically the system with the standard edition, the memory support is different. With the enterprise edition, the memory support would be different, and there are many other features that would be different in the SQL Server from standard to enterprise. You should remember that thing. The number of the users, the number of the memory, the amount of memory it supports, and many other things you have to look before you are actually going for the SQL Server edition. Depending upon if you have a limited number of users, the standard edition will be very fine. If you don't have very large database or something, but if you have very large database, a lot of things would be the better one. Again, depending upon the requirement of your organization, you can look into the details of the SQL Server. I'm not going to go into the details of the what edition, what enterprise edition, or whether standard edition or data center, whatever you want, because it requires a lot of details to go through the hardware, your requirements, and then again the SQL Server, what it supports, what it doesn't support into the SQL Server. Okay, this is actually installing the SQL Server backward compatibility files. In the case if the person already has SQL Server 2000, so that's why it is installing the SQL Server backward compatibility files. Or you maybe it is going to actually check it for the when you are going to migrate from SQL Server 2000 to 2005. This may be the reason it is installing the SQL Server backward compatibility files, and it's going through. So far no errors, we are doing very well, fine. We will be back as soon as the most of the components actually have been installed. Here we are. It is again asking for actually to insert a second disk. It has gone to a little bit of the installation has been left over. As you can see, most of the things have been actually done, and I am going to insert a second disk and let the installation complete. Okay, here we are. Near installation is over. As you can see, I'll just turn up. Everything has gone okay so far, so good. That is excellent. Now let's go to the next, and we have got the SQL Server installation complete. Now it's not over yet. We will install a second instance. So we are back with the CD number 1, again back to install the second instance of the SQL Server. It has come up. Again I'm going to say install SQL Server components online. This time when I am going to install a SQL Server components, as you can see other things, it is going to only install a SQL Server database part of it. It will not install the Visual Studio or Business Intelligence. The reason is that it has already installed it once. The only thing is that it requires for the second time is that a database. Here we go. Again I have to say accept it. This time we are going to install a second instance of the SQL Server. Okay. Now why do we require a second instance of the SQL Server? We require a second instance of the SQL Server because we may have other database that we would like to run on a different instance. That is one of the reasons we would like to have a second instance of the SQL Server. We don't want all the database on the single instance. We want to have a database, some database on a different instance. As you can see, it is configuring the components, and sooner or later we will be seeing that it will install. It will ask for the installation. It's not trying to detect the whatever the configured components are there. In this case it will find all of them. It says the required components are installed successfully. Let's move to the next, because it did not install, it was there already. Because when we installed the first instance of the SQL Server 2005, it was installed at that time. Now let's see what it is going to ask later. Here it is. It has thrown up the screen. SQL Server is scanning your computer configuration, and it will look into the details of the space and other things again. Of course it has to figure it out whether there is enough space and the RAM to actually run the second instance of the SQL Server, whether the hardware would be supporting these details. Once it actually has gone through, it will actually ask you to select the components, whatever you want, whatever sync, and then you can select the second instance, and you will name the second instance whatever name you want. Here it is. The screen has come. The installation wizard has started. Again, this time it is not going to show you, give you all the options. It was going to give you only the limited options, as you can see. Okay, this is all it has checked up, well and good. Go to the next. Saying prepare to install. So far so good. It's continuing. Install, extract custom action file from the stream. Again it will record the install, start the window event log, as it always does in the whenever it tries to install a SQL Server. It will put the it will log it into the window event log when it starts the installation of the SQL Server. In case anything goes wrong, you have to look into the window event log. Again it's trying to direct the install internet information server, searching for the install component, validating additions and systems requirement, restoring existing product ID, computing space requirement, setting internal properties, computing space requirement again, install services. Okay, now it's preparing the installation wizard. Now we are at it. Now that it has figured out all the components that are already been installed or not, it depending upon that thing, it will allow us to, it will give us the menu to select some of the things that we can install in the second instance. I will say it Russell, and we'll move to the next. Okay, in this case it is already actually showing me everything again, because I don't want everything again. Okay, so I can actually choose a SQL Server database. Even if I suppose select all the things, does it mean it is going to actually put everything again? No, it's not going to put. Okay, analytical services. Okay, in this case I'm not going to select the database and other things like that and other things. Okay, let's see. I want to put it, I don't want even a book online. Why should I need? Because I already have one instance already there. Okay, so let's see what it does. Okay, here it is. I will still selected analysis service to show you that is not going to install the analysis server because it already has one installed it. Next. Anyway, we would be requiring only SQL Server database services because we actually want to create a second instance. Now again it is asking default instance or name instance. This time I'm going to again give a name instance again. Usually the first time if you create an instance, you should always choose as a default instance. In this case I have selected both. See, it actually is giving me to view the existing instance and the component. Click on the installed instance, then I can see there is 11 already existing analysis service already saying okay, that's 11, and it is the enterprise edition. It's going to be okay, and this time I don't want to be on 11, I want to be, because it will overwrite it. Okay, let's move to the next. And as you can see that once I move to the next, it will already, this is going to install a second instance of the SQL Server, and we are, after installing the second instance, we are done with the installation of 2 instances of the SQL Server, and that should be sufficient for installing any number of the instance of the SQL Server. As you can see, it's taking some time because it must be doing some, creating some folders or something beneath the SQL Server. Rest is going to be the same, no big deal. Exactly, it will run the same way, and you would be having a second instance of the SQL Server with a double instance of the SQL Server running, one with 11, one with 11 2005. If you have given any other name, depending upon what you have given it there, you would be having the same names. It takes some time. Hold on. There we are back again. Again I'm going to use the same built-in this thing. Leave the same thing as it is. Go to the next. Once I go to the next, I will leave it to the window authentication mode. No changes here. Next. And once we are there with the without a window, okay, this is again the collation because I already have selected previously this one. I'm going to select the leave it as it is. Remember, the collation is sorting out of your index. Be careful. Always choose the same. Next. Install. Now it's going to actually do the installation process. As you can see, and we are going to get completed with the installation of the SQL Server 2005 with the double instance. This is how you would go installing the SQL Server 2005. We will do it with 2008 also. Right now it is with 2005. 2008 is not different, maybe a screen difference, a little bit more components here and there. That's it, no big deal. So for your hardware matches the requirement, SQL Server would not give you any problem until and unless there is a problem with the software that you already installed. Otherwise it will not give you. I have installed a SQL Server 2005 many times, 2008 also many times. 2005 sometimes would give you a problem, but 2008 has never given me a problem, depending upon if the installation goes wrong. Otherwise usually it does not. If you have a newly installed operating system, it usually never gives you a problem. Okay, there we are. It has thrown up the products. These are the products, etc, 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 and it's going to install on the SQL Server, and it started. And once it is finished, I'll be back. Okay, there we are. Again the installation has finished. It is quite taken a very little bit time, and I think so we have finished with the SQL Server double instance, 2 instance, and that ends the SQL Server 2005 installation process. I hope it was easy. There's nothing difficult about it.